Hi, it's Damon Frank from Talent Branded, and today I'm going to be talking with you about techniques that your service business can use in order to close more sales with texting. So I was really excited about creating this blog post today because I'm a bit of an evangelist regarding texting. If you do business with me or, we're friends, you will know that I'm talking about texting a lot and about how powerful it is and why you should be putting that into your sales and marketing plan, especially if you're in the service business. Why should you be putting this into your sales and marketing plan? Well, let's look at the statistics. A current article that just came out said that 46% of smartphone owners say that it is something that they could not live without, meaning they could not live without their cell phone. Now, as a marketer and salesperson, you realize how powerful that is. So they have a device in which you can contact if you have a couple of numbers, you can contact it, and they feel that they cannot live without this device, right? So this means that most people are carrying around their smartphones with them all the time. Matter of fact, a Washington Times article just wrote that Americans now spend 5 hours a day on their phones. That's 5 hours a day. And I think that that's really kind of under what a lot of people actually do. That's really what they're admitting to, right? So 5 hours a day, they're looking or plugged into the screen. They're carrying it with them at all times, and they're looking at it 5 hours a day. Most work days are 8 hours. So if you think about the power of 5 hours, that's a long time that people are plugged into their phones. Also, as the adoption of traditional broadband services have reduced over the last several years, many Americans now use their smartphones as their primary means of online access and phone. That's right. That means that most people don't even have landlines, or a group of people don't have landlines now, or they're giving them up. And some don't even have home internet connections. They're using their phone to communicate. So they're plugged into their phone hours and hours a day. And I just, watched this really powerful episode of 60 Minutes, who this man, Tristan Harris, compares smartphones to slot machines. Why? Because he says every time you check your phone, it's like playing a slot machine. What did I get? Right? So when you hear a bing, automatically you're like, who is it? What did I get? Who wants to contact me? What do they want to say? It's an overwhelming desire, right? So to check the cell phone. So this is a lot of power for you as a salesperson and marketer, especially in the service industry. And let's dive right into why that is and the techniques that I've used. And I want to show you how I've used these techniques so that you can really use these methods to increase your sales and really be a more effective marketer. So let's dive right into a few of these techniques that I have personally used to make thousands of dollars. That's right, close thousands of dollars and really increase my brand through a few very simple techniques that you can do with your cell phone that you have right now. Now, these techniques that I'm going to show you are geared more for the service industry. So these are people who are, doctors, maybe they have a medical practice, nutritionists, attorneys, really anyone who's in the service business could do it. A coach, any one of the nature where you're talking with people, you're qualifying them, and you're trying to close them to buy your service. Okay, let's dive into the first one. The first technique that I use is called the thank you technique. So what is the thank you technique? The thank you technique is so simple, most people won't even do it because they say this is too simple to actually work. But I will tell you, it's been one of the more powerful texting techniques to grow my brand. And that is the simple thank you. You got it. When I meet with a client, a prospective client, and when I'm talking with them about my service, and I'm qualifying them and finding out what they need and how I can be of service. After the meeting, whether it's after they've gotten back to their office or home, or a day later, I send them a basic thank you for meeting with me text. And it's very, very basic. I don't ask for anything in the text. I don't make it complicated. I just simply say, thank you very much for spending the time to speak with me or meet with me in person. And I really look forward to the opportunity of being able to do business with you. And that's it. If I did tell them I was going to follow up with a proposal, I might put that in there as well. But I keep that very, very, very simple. Now, that could also be a business lunch. That could be a business dinner. Just saying thank you to people is incredibly powerful. And that's the first technique that I always use after I meet with a prospect. The second technique that I use, I call the thinking of you technique. Yep, it's called the thinking of you technique. And this is another very basic but super effective texting technique. Now, how I do this is you need to have qualified your prospect before you actually deploy this technique, because you're going to need some information about your prospect. So let me set this up a little bit and kind of explain how I use this. Okay, let's say that you're a nutritionist. Let's just use that example. And you have met with a client, a prospective client, because they have a thyroid issue. Well, you're qualifying this client and you're talking with them about different problems that they're having, and you're presenting your unique solution about how you can actually handle their problem and service them. Right? So you're getting information. Are they ready to take action now? What's most important to them? All these things that you know from qualifying. Now you want to use this information and apply it to the thinking of you technique. Here's how you do it. You take the content that you've already created, the kind of content that explains situations and problems that your prospect might be having. So take the nutritionist example. If the person is suffering from a thyroid condition, you might have written a really detailed blog post about overcoming hypothyroidism, right? You now want to take a link of this, and we usually make a little bit.ly over it, so it's a short link, and you, in a couple of days after you've met with the prospect, you send them a little text that says, I was thinking of you and thought this article might help you. And just send it out. Now, you always want to be of service when you're sending these. You never want to be too aggressive. It's always being of service and being helpful. Very, very important. If you try to close right away with this and, here's some information on the thyroid thing, and I've got a thyroid program and you got to join it right now, that's kind of abusing, right, your access to them 5 hours a day. Because remember, they're on this cell phone a minimum of 5 hours a day on their phone. They've got it with them. They're actually looking at it, right? So you don't want to abuse this. You want to gradually use this to build trust with your prospect. Now, this will be incredibly effective for you, because what's happening is you're starting to build a rapport and you're giving them information that's really going to help them. Now, this is even more effective than sending emails, in my opinion, because you can actually time out when you're going to send these text messages. And you say, well, how am I going to do that? Because I don't want to be sitting around all day. Well, I found this great little program called Mighty Text. It's really awesome. It sets up right next to your cell phone, and it links to your cell phone, and it's got different templates in there, and you can actually time different texts to go out at different times. It's really, really great. Now, a little note about that, why this is super effective. Remember what that 60 Minutes article said when they referred to that every time that you get that bing and you check your phone, that little notification, you have that immediate emotional response about, what did I get? Who is this, right? So that's a lot of power. And when you're trying to be of service and helping people and you're sending those links, it's really, really super effective. So when you use the Mighty Text application, then you can time it to different times. So maybe you know the best time to hit that prospect is after they pick up kids from school, they've made dinner, settled down a little bit, maybe it's 7 o'clock, and now they can actually sit and think about their life, right? Boom, maybe it's Saturday morning, right? And that little bing goes off, they check it, and if you're being of service, usually the prospect thinks, wow, this person is super detail oriented and they really care about me and they're sending me information that's going to help me. The third technique I use is called the photo and video technique. I love this technique because it's something that I can do day to day living my life. And it's not very rehearsed and it's not canned and it's definitely not salesy. Right? So how do I use the photo and videos technique? Well, here's what I do. When I'm talking with the prospect and I'm qualifying them, I might find out something about them. Maybe I find out that their kid is, plays soccer for a club and they're very into soccer, or they love Disneyland, or they love to surf, or there's something that they like to do. I find out something personal about them. So when I'm out on my day-to-day life, right, and I see something that I know that they might like, I'll take a picture of it. So in this example, maybe there's a big soccer tournament going on in the park. I'll take a little snapshot and say, hey, was just thinking about you. I know your son or daughter plays soccer. You had mentioned that that's really important to you. You're probably at a big match right now, and I saw that there's a big match going on here and was just thinking about you, wanted to send this to you. Or maybe it is a little video that you do of yourself, and I use this an awful lot, and this is a huge one for closing. I'll send a little video of myself saying, hey, Bob, it was really, really nice. I was just thinking about you, and I was thinking about the meeting that we had, and I was thinking about this problem that you're having, and here's my thought on it. And I'll send that via text message. Super powerful. They're seeing your face again. They're hearing your voice. They're making a connection. So tip 3, the photo and videos thing, incredibly powerful. It is you do it very organically. You can just do it day to day as you go through your life. And it's just another way that you can build a connection using text messaging. The fourth tip that I'm going to give you is what I call the birthday and special event message. Now, I have personally used this a lot, and I actually took this from an old sales techniques that insurance agents used to use. Now, insurance agents used to say, I'll go to your kid's birthday party, right? They would go to the wedding reception, the birthday party. Why? Because they knew if they were embedded with the family, that was the best business, right? They had a personal connection with them. So as their kids grew up and wanted to get insurance and needed insurance, they would be the insurance provider. So this is a very similar technique. And I call this one the birthday and special event message simply because that's what it is. I'm sending out special text messages. Maybe it is a religious holiday and I know that they're of a certain faith. Maybe it is a birthday that they have, right? And I'm sending these little texts out. And again, in Mighty Text, you can pre-program these to make them sound incredibly personal because they're going to be going right to your prospect and you can put an individual message. Now, this is incredibly effective because it is incredibly personal, right? And it's something that you can do 5 minutes a day, really maybe even 10 to 15 minutes a week. You could write these up and have those go out automatically. And it really sends that extra nice special touch, and it creates a great bond with your prospect. This also works with current clients that you have. Also maybe clients that have not used your service in a while, and they get this and they think, wow, now you're front of mind, right? Wow, maybe I should look at that again. Maybe I should be using this service again. Maybe I should call Damon again, right? So this is a great technique that you can use right now, because I'm sure right now in your company, you have at least 4 or 5 people that you have a relationship with that are not doing business with you, but should be doing business with you. And this is a great technique that you can deploy to kind of turbo boost that relationship. The final and fifth tip I'm going to give you is using texting with email. Now, this involves a little bit of technological knowledge, but really no big deal here. And this is the final tip that I'm going to give you, and it's incredibly powerful. And this is also a little secret tip that a lot of really high performing salespeople do not really let other salespeople in on, because it is so powerful and they kind of want to hoard this and use it over and over and over again because it's so effective. Now, the really technique is how you can use texting with the email. And I'm going to give you a specific example. And we use HubSpot here, HubSpot CRM, which has a notification that you can purchase that when you send an email, it notifies you when the prospect opens your email, right? So if they open the email at 11 o'clock, it sends you a little email notification pop-up in your email that says, hey, Bob just opened the proposal, right? Now, why this is great is you know when Bob's actually looking at the proposal. And there are different places out there, different technology solutions besides HubSpot that also sell similar things. We just happen to use the HubSpot one and we're very happy with it. And we can send these little notifications out and we know when their prospects are opening the email. Now, if there has been a couple of days that have gone by, let's say you've sent a proposal, you've made a follow-up call, and the prospect just hasn't responded. And then all of a sudden, it's 4 o'clock on a Friday, you get a little email notification that Bob has opened the proposal. Then you hit him with your text message. Hey, Bob, just thinking about you. Wanted to see if you had a chance to look at that proposal. Now, it's shocking because 9 times out of 10, you'll get an immediate text back saying, oh my God, I've been putting this off. That's so bizarre that you contacted me. I was just looking at the proposal. And of course, then you have to act shocked and go, oh, wow, that's so amazing, right? What a coincidence. It's incredibly effective. It actually has upped our close rates here immensely. It is so easy to use because most people are looking at their computer all day and they're seeing these little notifications that come up on their sidebar in email. And so you know exactly when they're opening the email proposals, and you're just sending out that quick text message right there. I make that text message really organic. I don't script it. I typically do that one through my cell phone, just right there live, to say, hey, was thinking about you, want to know if you had any questions regarding the proposal or if you've looked at it. And that is a closer, I'm telling you. And right there, if they have questions, you're grabbing them right when they're looking at the proposal. Instead of them saying, oh man, I might have to ask Damon about that later. And then they never get to calling you, right? And you never connect with them again. You've got them right there. And a lot of people also, I found, especially in 2017, don't like confrontation. So they're much more willing to send you a text message regarding something that they like or don't like or are comfortable with or are not comfortable with, especially regarding money, via text message. And they might never tell you that via phone or email. So I hope these techniques were successful. I've given you 5 really amazing ones here that you could use over and over and over to really turbo boost your sales and marketing. Thanks so much for checking out our video blog, and please feel free to contact us on Facebook at Talent Branded, Twitter at Talent Branded, and at Instagram at Talent Branded. Can't wait to talk to you soon.